so that we can understand that we are here. The schools you are running, I think all of you are from the cadre of HMs or the teachers. Am I right? So, are those schools running in Telugu medium or in English medium? Both are there? Still, I think majority are in English medium, right? Right. And when they are running in English medium and you are expected to teach in English, all the classes you have to run in English, why are not you using the English as the language to communicate? Am I right or wrong? Should we use English? Is it okay? While speaking, our Sriman Sekhar Rao Garu said, country has given us only space. Let's use it. I want to stress on the only. Only is a very interesting word to our Nina Nandaji. Country has given us everything, not only the place. Country has given you the soil, the body, the food, air, water. What needs to be given by the country? If you are not spoiling them, that itself is the greatest thing that you can learn. As people give you money or some other give you some objects, country need not give you anything at all. It gave you the fragrance and the taste. मेरा देश का धरती जानते हैं कैसा है? इस धरती में टेस्ट है, इस धरती में सुगंध है. Did you taste ever? We have tasted, of course. We have visited other countries also, a few countries. We tested the soil, tasting it, if there is any taste. But I did not find any taste, nor the fragrance. In our Bharat, we have beautiful fragrance. When do you understand that fragrance? When will you be able to understand the fragrance? Yeah, if there is rain somewhere else, you get the fragrance. You understand, oh, it must be raining somewhere. Fragrance. Taste, maybe ladies must be knowing most of the times. I don't know. Because of the taste and the fragrance, our bodies are made with a kind of a fragrance and taste. Not this fragrance I am talking about. Fragrance makes people around enjoy it. That's the fragrance, isn't it? That is your practice. When you practice, it is observed by the people around, and then they feel some kind of thing, like somebody may say shh, somebody may say That is the fragrance we need, not the fragrance that comes when you spray something. We need a kind of practice which makes people around enjoy. We need such a kind of practice. And at the same time, the taste is what people share the love from you. Both are needed. I think the soil has given those two things to us. What more is needed? That is plenty. More than plenty. Are we able to make our children to experience those two? Is the big question in front of us. There is a nice saying, a wonderful sloka in Sanskrit. A devotee went to God and he was praying to God. Tvayi prasanne mama kim gunena Tvai aprasanne mama kim gunena. He says to God, God, if you are happy with me, I need not possess any kind of qualities. If you are happy with me, I don't need any qualities. But if you are not happy with me, what is the point of possessing so many qualities in me? Tvayi prasanne, if you are happy with me, mama kim gunena, why should I possess any kind of qualities? Because you are happy with me and you always take care of me. Tvayi aprasanne, if you are not happy with me, what is the point in possessing many qualities in me? I am not getting your love at all. And of course, the poet has given a beautiful example. Rakte virakte priye priyana. Husband, if he loves his wife, she doesn't need any qualities or beauty because he already loved her. And if he doesn't love her, what is the point in dressing, in painting, or in decorating with so many jewelry? When he doesn't like her, nothing works. If he likes her, nothing is needed. Yes? That is the role of a teacher. If that teacher is powerful, capable, nothing is needed. No values are needed to be published in books. No policies are needed, just like NEP is not needed. If teacher is capable, qualified, I'm not talking about the qualification that is acquired from the universities or with the marks. I'm talking about the qualification that comes from within the heart, concern for the students. If the teacher having concern for the students, I think he does something by hook or crook, he acquires and then he delivers. If the parent love the kids, they do something to take care of the kids, right? They steal, beg, borrow, they do something. They take care of their kids because they have the concern and the love in their heart. They do not want to see the child begs somewhere or becomes careless. So they acquire the wealth, possessions, or the food, the money, whatever is needed. So also the teacher. Parents are parents only for 2, 3, 4. Maybe somebody breaking the records by giving birth to maybe 10, 15 children. I don't know. But you have many children. Your children are in hundreds and in thousands. You are great parents. Yes or no? If you feel that parenthood, then you put all the efforts. How can I bring my child? Yesterday, we were in Nelluru district, a place called Somsila. Somsila. We know the Penna river, right? The Pinakini, the great river. And the dam is there in Somsila. We have a small ashram there. We went on a small program and we were there yesterday. We have a small Vedic class also there. A few students are there and a teacher is also there. The Khagendrachari who received the GL award is there. And yesterday morning, we were just observing the students sitting and teacher also was sitting on the side. And they were chanting something. Next to the teacher, some student was sitting and then another student, then his own son also is one among the students. He was sitting and then other students. In the middle, the teacher said, "Come to me." He invited his own son and made him sit next to him. And then he started teaching. It's a good thing. What he did was good because he is the senior and he knows a bit more. So he invited his own son and made him sit next to him and then started next course of his teaching. Then we asked him, because he is your son, you took that much care. You would have shared similar love and concern for every child. Not because he is your son, just you want him next to you and teach something. But every child must receive such a kind of affection and care from the teacher. no matter whether it is your child or somebody else. In Sanskrit, while students were in Gurukulas, they used to address them, He Putra Sishyaha Srunuta. He Putra Sishyaha Srunuta. Teacher was addressing the students. He also having some children, some sons. He was also teaching them. There also were a few among the other students. And there are other Sishyas also. But the point here is the teacher never discriminated between his son and Sishyas, other Sishyas. And at the same time, he never discriminated among the other Sishyas and his own child. So he treated every student as his own son. And even his son also as one among the students. Point is, sharing the knowledge equally among all the students with no partiality or discrimination. There is no doubt, if at all a student is more grasping, more intelligent, or probably having some kind of memory like a photostatic memory, definitely we have to encourage such students. We need not again, take this student to other who are slow learners and put in between them and make him also go slow. This is, I think, probably the duty of a right teacher. We, I think, mentioned several times in olden days, like when we were young, when we were studying in schools, or probably in our ashrams, class starts morning at 7 o'clock. And the class used to go up to 12. Then a little break for lunch. And again they used to start the class maybe at 1:30 or 2 and used to end at 6 p.m. One class in the morning, one class in the afternoon session. Only one subject. Only one subject. For how many hours? 5 hours. But now, maximum 45 minutes. Even that is also with lot of difficulty. To teach for 45 minutes, it becomes very difficult to the teacher, not to the student. And in some probably situations, if the class is extended because the next period teacher is not there, so this guy has to continue the class for next period also, you know very well how difficult it is. You really get vexed or bored because to entertain a student for 45 minutes or 1 hour, you should be very well prepared. If it is for 2 hours, your preparation, I think, must be more. And if it is for 5 hours, gone. Totally gone. Difficulty is not with students. Difficulty is with teachers. As I said, the example of a devotee or a nice lover. If the teacher is good, nothing is needed. No orientation, no special training, no special projects or programs, and no policies by the government are needed. And if that is not there, no matter government makes hundreds of policies, all they go in vain. So teacher is the key. Students are just like white papers. Beautiful, clean, plain sheets. What you draw on the paper, you are the people to draw wonderful pictures on those papers. You can draw a beautiful picture, or just as some children do, they hold the pen. They can make that too. We are always surprised, even with because we have a class here for our blind children. We have a junior and degree college for blind children here. All the subjects for them are in English. Of course, they are not very difficult topics like, chemistry related or physics related or biological sciences subjects are not at all there for them because they are blind. They are only able to deal with the arts, commerce, economics, political sciences, accountancy, etc. And some social subjects also are there. And all the subjects are in English. They have to write the examinations in English. Of course, they write on laptops. They use laptop only to write the examinations. Normally, blind children are using scribes, right, to write examinations. And in our college, I think probably the only college in our country for inter and degree, where students, they go with their own laptops and they write the examination on laptop only except the second language. Though everything they write in English and their lessons are also in English, but they feel shy to speak English. They understand English, but they feel shy to speak that language. And teachers, I think most often, I think probably what many teachers also will do, they take the support of other languages. If it is some North Indian school, then they take the support of Hindi to convey the content. Or if it is schools here, they take the support of the Telugu because it is the local language. And if it is the place like Tamil Nadu, they take the language Tamil to give the content. The reason being they feel shy to speak. See, there is a saying in Sanskrit, abadham va, subadham va, kunti putro, vinayakaha. What is that? Abadham va, subadham va, kunti putro, vinayakaha. What does it mean? Whether it is right or wrong, start speaking in English. Don't hesitate. You may commit mistakes, it's okay. I think Gandhiji said, when it is not your mother language, there's no problem, just you speak. Then mistakes may come. Why to feel shy? Why to hesitate? Morning, I'm seeing here, when you started the proceeds here, I think we have started speaking in Telugu. You are not going to use Telugu in your schools. They are in English medium. And why can't you use that language only, so that you feel acquainted? We have to make our children also speak in English. They may commit mistakes, it doesn't matter. Let them do it. We are there to correct them only. Isn't it? If they do not commit mistake, then where is your role? What do you do then? They have to commit mistakes, and you have to correct them, and then you have to improve them. So, my point is, whatever the system that you want to adopt, be with it. Be with it. That is point one. Dr. Sridevi ji very rightly pointed, when you have fixed up something on your own, like the time, you have to start at 10 o'clock. Don't try to take excuses. Bus did not come, and the travel was there, or enrollment was there, or breakfast is not completed. What we say, all these become only excuses. And when you start taking an excuse, and there will be no end for excuses, and they go on and on, one after the other. Stick on to the point, whatever it may be. Never try to take any kind of excuse on any point. Even with your students also, it should be the same. Students are smart, always. Generation after the other, they become smarter. Always it happens. जब हम छोटे रहते थे, बुद्धू रहते थे. अभी तो बुद्धू है. लेकिन जो हमारे बाद में जो आते हैं, तो बहुत चालाक होते हैं. They become very smart. So, children, remember, are pretty smart. They keep observing you. As you do, thus they try to copy. Even when you are in your privacy, with your poor teachers, talking to them, still they keep observing. And when you are not following the decorum, what you have fixed to be, they take that as an excuse and they try to copy it. And hence, if you want to be with the system, follow it to the dot, to the core. This is, I think, the base. Next, what to grow is something different. I think you have given it in the pamphlet. I think probably you also might have, got this paper with you. Do you have this? Orientation of teachers. So, when you are dealing with a system which is very, very important, playing a pivotal role in the progression of the life and, of course, of the country as well. It's like a flight journey. When the flight takes off, after getting into the space, the pilot cannot take an excuse. Sorry, sir, petrol is not filled up in the tank. What happens then? So, before the finger goes on to the button, he will be having a list of points in front of him. Check, 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 check. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the points when he check and they are okay, then only he pushes the button to start the flight. And our journey is like a pilot to run the lives of the children and thus to make a generation to run the system of the country. How important you are, how great role you need to play. And if the pilot, when in the space, starts taking excuses, the lives of the people in the flight will be at risk. Yes? And it is never ever permitted at all. So also being teachers, we are not supposed to take any kind of excuses either in observing the time, the system, or the content. And if that is there, I think the same discipline comes to the student automatic. Now, we are talking about the value-based education. Is it necessary to talk values in education? Education itself is containing or probably is the compilation of values. Why you have to talk about the values separately? When you talk about the food, are you going to talk, should I add sweet or hot or sour or something like that? Do you start discussing about what taste to be added. Food means shadrasopetam bhojanam, isn't it? All the taste must be there in the food. That only becomes the right food. That only makes the person who eats healthy. So when you talk about the education, I think the education should probably possess all sorts of values in her. That is the education. But it is so unfortunate and sad that only cadaver is given to the students with no life in it. You know cadaver? What does it mean by cadaver? A dead body. We are married with the corpses. So what to do? Now we are trying to approach doctors so that they can push some oxygen into that. Only that's okay. Let us try. In Sanskrit, there is a definition given to vidya, education. What should be the result of the education? It is a vidya dadati vinayam. Vidya dadati vinayam. Vinayat yati patratam. Patratvat dhanamapnoti. Dhanat dharmam tataha sukham. Sukham is the ultimate goal of everything, isn't it? But is our education providing sukham to us? Stress, fear, low feel, or arrogance. That means it is 180 degrees opposite. We are going not towards this direction, we are going in this direction. We thought that knowing the content and able to express it and then get the marks, done. Knowing the content is okay. That is called literacy, not education. We are literates. Literate is the one who fills up his stomach with letters. The sweat with letters, sneeze with letters. Or you cut only letters. Now there are letters pouring out from the bodies. But is it really necessary to fill up the mind and the stomach with letters or with education? What is needed? What is the difference between education and the literacy then? Education gives you ability to understand and proceed further in the life. Let it be any kind of situation. Literacy only makes one to pour out the letters. Scholarship. And one may be totally illiterate, but if he is educated, he will be able to live his life and make others to live their lives. That is what is needed. What you call today as the value-based one. Values are just to understand each other, to share the joys and sorrows with each other. If your education makes you to kill others, to suppress others, to make people cry, do you call it as education? I don't think so. You people talk about the pollution, right? We talk about the eco-friendliness. So you are taking much care. Even on Diwali days, the crackers are prohibited, thinking that they produce lot of pollution. Yes? But what a kind of pollution that is emitted when there are hundreds and thousands of bombs are thrown on other countries. Can you understand? How many hundreds and thousands of bombers are not used, every moment in some countries today? Do you think it emits small pollution? That is a result of education. Education, what they call education, I don't call it as education, but what people call education is now being used to produce more weapons, to possess more power, to control more countries, and to prove one's own dominance. But on the contrary, education is that when I am able to share your pain and give you some sort of joy. I heard once in Karnataka, I suppose, somebody was telling, we are not rich, but we are very much concerned. We are just labor in the fields. We take a carrier with a little, what you call that, mud, what is made of the rice, starch, and with a couple of pulkas. You know pulkas? Yeah, with a couple of pulkas we go there. We work from morning till afternoon, and then we sit to eat whatever we carried with us. But before eating something, we see front and forth. If there is anybody who is hungry, no matter who he is, but we call him, did you have lunch? And if he says no, we share first with him a piece of bread. I may be having only one pulka, and then he may ask me, "Are you have only one? It's okay, you eat." But we say, that is okay, but half is for you and half is for me. Come on, let us both sit and then go for the work. That is what our culture, that is what the land taught to us. Are we able to communicate this life of this land to our children through the subjects that are given to us. Changing the subjects is the policy of the government. That is, these people have to do that. It's not we. That's why we had a big madam here. They have to prepare the syllabus. They have to choose the lessons, no matter what lesson it is. I'm not bothered whether you are teaching pussycat lesson or some Ankamma lesson or some other lesson. That's not my point at all. Take any lesson. Are you able to deliver the core of the lesson to the student? If it is a chemistry, through the reactions of the chemicals, or if it is a physics, through the dynamics of the elements, or if it is botany or geology, it is through the movements of the creatures, of the beings. Are you able to deliver something to the student to understand so that he also can put it in practice? Are we able to make sure that the student who heard the lesson is able to do it on himself and feel it in his life? And if we do it, I don't think any orientation classes are needed. Am I right or wrong? I am sure most of you are capable of doing this. Many a time, probably your situations around are not permitting you. But you are all capable. I'm sure you are all capable. But the period provided to you is only 45 minutes. 5 minutes go in entering the class and keeping them in order. Last 5 minutes, we prepare with the watch. And the core time in between is only just 30 to 35 minutes. What are you able to deliver during that short time? Literally nothing. Sometimes the content you have delivered, I think probably will be taken after 2 days or 3 days. Then what that guy will be able to remember in his mind. That is what our Shekhar Rao Garu initially mentioned, Dinesh Garu. We had probably few classes. Madam also visited such classes here. Morning from 8 o'clock through 6 o'clock in the evening, only one subject we have taken for few students. Only one subject. If it is math, only maths are taught. Morning through evening. No other subject. If it is chemistry, only chemistry is taught. No other subject. For the entire day. And in a week, 6 days, 6 subjects. Whatever that you have. As he said, and examination on those taught lessons on the same night. Just like the public examination. And the result, what he said during the 10th, those who were gaining only 30, 28, 35, like that, they were able to score 90 plus. 90 plus, no less than 90. And if you got 90, probably 9.9, who received the award from the Vice President of India in the next premises, Swarna Bharati here. So we understood that if you are able to make the student live in the subject, and if you are able to soak him in the subject, he will be able to understand better. I think probably then thus he becomes master over the content. That is what we have experienced for almost 7 years, I suppose. COVID, I think, probably created a gap for that. And of course, so many other factors also there. But anyway, with a given time, short time, don't teach values specially. Don't take a class for values at all, which no student likes. And at the same time, no value for that in the marks. They are insisting on a value course, but those marks are not added to the finals. Then why should I take it? Why should I waste my time for that? So that is where the system got some defects. It is a structural defect. If you provide at least 10 to 20% of the marks exclusively for that subject, then everybody focuses on that. And hence, the good-hearted persons like our Neenanandaji, our little girl Neelaji, and one wonderful scientist like Mr. Bhanu, they sat together coming out with innovative ideas as how can we understand the dynamics of the elements and dynamics of the life and match them together and teach them to the students. It's easy for us also. We need not to deal with the morals separately. And we can teach it at the same time. I still remember the old doctor couple whom actually we know very well from Vijayawada. They are very good doctors, of course. One studied in Harvard and another one studied in the Boston, and they are in the urology and OBGY doctors. And very good scholars also they are in English. Usually doctors need not become scholars, right? Their scholarship is only how to cut and how to stitch. There it is over. But they used to deal with so much other content also. Then we asked them, how do you know all this kind of stuff? Then they said, when we are in a medical college, our professors, while teaching a content, a subject, they used to take synonyms to the words and put them in use and also make us to use them. So they are not just focusing only on the subject. They were also focusing on the language, communication, and skill to present. That is how they used to teach, and we are always thankful to those professors. I think they were from Gunturu College, Gunturu Christian College. They studied there. And there they learned all this kind of stuff. And they used to say, our teachers are so great. While teaching the content, maybe it is from chemistry, physics, mathematics, or any kind of stuff. They used to take the synonymous content from so much literature and used to deliver it to us. That's how we learned it. I think these people found it very, very useful, and that's how they came out with few experiments from 6th grade up to 10th. 6th to 10th. They found almost 250 experiments in chemistry and physics, and also, of course, in biological sciences too. Approximately 50 are there from the biological sciences like geology and botany, etc. And in chemistry and physics, they found approximately 170 to 200, etc. And in our lessons, I think one subject is taught several times, repeating the content and stuff like that, which is probably avoided. That is a kind of trial they made and was taught here to the students who are going to the 10th. An experiment was done here. When the students are here in camp, of course 25 days were passed already out of 30. Then the teachers from the schools were invited here, those who are teaching physics and chemistry. And they were asked to do some kind of experiments here. Students did faster than the teachers. And teachers expressed their inability and concern that our schools are not having this kind of equipment with us. That is then, I think probably we thought of providing such a kind of the tools to the, especially to the government schools. And I think there were so many other things also went on, but really it did not happen. That is the essence. It should happen. At least it is not too late now for us to adopt such a kind of system where needed equipment, required tools are provided to the schools if necessary. If they are private schools, no issue, because they always provide all kinds of good equipment that is required, and they make the quality also nice. And wherever it is needed, we feel it is the responsibility of all of us to provide such kind of equipment. No teacher is less qualified. We know it well. No teacher. But deliverables are not there because of the deficiency in having the equipment with them. So that gap must be filled up. How do we do it? We start planning for that. But we have to see that gaps should be filled up. And the teachers should be allowed to use their full skill in preparing the children to stand for the competition at par with anybody. We are so happy that all of you have taken time to come here all the way, spend a few hours here. in preparing the ground for that. I don't think that you need to be taught with any kind of new stuff. All that good facilities must be provided. And let us plan for that, how best we'll be able to procure such kind of things and equip our own places with good tools in our hands to make our students, our children, capable of dealing with them. Jai Srimanarayana.
పనేసియా మెరిడియన్ హాస్పిటల్స్ ప్రతి సామాన్యుడికి అందుబాటులో అంతర్జాతీయ వైద్య ప్రమాణాలతో వైద్యం, 24 గంటల అంబులెన్స్ సర్వీసుతో పాటు అత్యవసర సేవలతో ఏర్పాటైన చికిత్సా విభాగం. మా దగ్గర గుండె సంబంధిత, మూత్రపిండ, కాలేయ, కంటి జబ్బులకు, మోకాళ్ల శస్త్ర చికిత్సతో పాటు కోవిడ్-19, బ్లాక్ ఫంగస్ వంటి వైరస్లకు, అన్ని రకాల ఆరోగ్య సమస్యలకు నమ్మకమైన అత్యాధునిక వైద్య చికిత్సను అందిస్తున్న హాస్పిటల్ పనేసియా మెరిడియన్ హాస్పిటల్స్. మీ ఆరోగ్య సమస్య ఏదైనా ఇప్పుడు పరిష్కారం సాధ్యం. సంపూర్ణ ఆరోగ్యం కోసం సంప్రదించండి పనేసియా మెరిడియన్ హాస్పిటల్స్, ఆపోజిట్ భీరంగూడ కమాన్, ఆర్సీపురం, సంగారెడ్డి డిస్ట్రిక్ట్, పిన్ కోడ్ 502032. సంప్రదించాల్సిన ఫోన్ నెంబర్ 0845524177 మరియు 7893757770.